straight games by 3 points or less. 4 straight by 3 points or less. A 1-point victory last night, a 3-point victory over the Chiefs, a 3-point victory over the Raiders, and a 3-point victory over the Texans. It's tied for the longest streak in the history of pro football. And the Broncos are now 8-2 this season in one-score games. They have won 8 of those consecutively. So it just
shows you that winning is contagious. Like, you find ways to win when you're around people that believe the same thing you do, that trust the process, that understand what they have to do to play till the end of that whistle. 60 minutes of football to be played, and you never know what's going to happen. And for the Denver Broncos, they have won many different ways, with the defense, with the offense, special teams, in the fourth quarter, overtime, you name it, and they came through in the clutch. And that's what you're asking them to do. Now, can they continue to do this? Can they find a way against the Raiders, though, to not make it as hard as it does, as hard as
it was?
As it was, pretty much, as it was. And just go in there, handle business, and get ready for the next 4 games that you have left. That's what I want to see, is this: when you have an opponent that's not better than you, then finish them off. Don't make it hard. I'm tired of going scrolling through my phone on Instagram and Twitter and everybody saying they have a heart attack. Let's just enjoy the win, but you need to go through this, because once you get to the playoffs, every play matters, and it may come down to the end of the game, the fourth quarter, overtime, who knows? And the Denver Broncos have been there before.
Right.
So they have that experience that may give them the advantage to get that win.
Well, that's the hope. Experience matters, and Sean will say, hey, experience or confidence can only come from demonstrated ability. You have to go out and do it. And this team has done it over and over and over. Now, have they done it in the playoffs yet? No, but they can't control that. They were probably ahead of schedule a year ago when they lost 31-7. But now they can look at each other with conviction into one of their each of their eyes and saying, hey, we've been here. Man, remember this game? Remember that game? And they just are stacking up to a degree that, like, quite literally has never happened before in the history of NFL football. It's nuts. Now, they're not a perfect team. But their record's damn near perfect. 10-2 is remarkable. And I'll read you a RamosLaw.com text here, 303-713-1043. No, that's not the one I wanted to read. Leading the league in punts, penalties, and 3-and-outs. We're going to get waxed when we play a legit team. Well, here's what I would say to that texter. All right, and
put his name on it.
And nope, did not throw their name on it.
Come on.
But 314, I would say this: like, who are the legit teams that you're speaking of? Could it be a team like Philly, who was just in the Super Bowl a year ago because they beat them? Could it be a team like the Chiefs, who was also in the Super Bowl because they just got beat? Could it be a team like you see what a team like Cincinnati did yesterday to Baltimore?
Yeah, that was an ugly one.
That was, but
again, for Cincy, it's like you get your quarterback back,
right?
And what does it look like,
right?
For Baltimore, what are you guys doing now? I do know that Lamar is dealing with the injury, but you're out there. You have to make the plays. Lamar does not look good. The defense that everybody raved about for the Baltimore Ravens does not look good. The run game looks bad. I mean, it's just not going good for Baltimore, just like for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not going good for them either.
No. So, again, when you look at the AFC, to that texter saying, hey, you're going to get waxed when you actually play a legit team, I don't know.
Denver Broncos are the legit team. You tell me, let's talk about just the AFC. Let's talk about the AFC right now, Zach. Who is better than the Denver Broncos in the AFC?
No one.
And I actually had to go back and look at it to say, okay, who? The Patriots? No. The Patriots have an easy schedule. Now, of course, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Every game is hard.
Yeah, 10-2 is 10-2 even for them.
For sure. But for the Denver Broncos, they're more battle-tested.
Agreed.
They have had these dramatic outcomes and came out on top.
And they're
That's
also
what you're looking for.
A year ahead of their arc. They're a new operation with a new coach. Broncos were in the playoffs a year ago as a 10-win team. So while I would proceed with great respect for the Patriots. Like, I wouldn't put them in a classification above the Broncos. Jacksonville, below them. I mean, they're having a nice season, but again, would I have them in a classification ahead of Denver? No.
Yeah, Jacksonville is going to be an interesting one. The good thing about Jacksonville is they get to come to us.
Sure.
And it's a Florida team. So they're going to be cold, and you're coming here where we have home field advantage, and we haven't lost here at home yet. So that's going to be an interesting one to look for.
If the Broncos can keep up their winning ways.
Which I'm expecting them to. I mean, right now, they're 10-2 on a 9-game win streak. So I'm going to just continue to, like you like to say, ride this ride, and I'm expecting them to beat the Raiders and then find a way to beat Green Bay at home because it's a home game again, and we're undefeated. But we shall see.
The Ravens, they've lost a game for every game that they've won. You know, the Chargers are hanging around, and they've sort of had the Broncos' number here as of late. But again, that would be an opponent that would likely be coming to Denver. The Colts are coming back down to earth here. Buffalo, dominant win in Pittsburgh. That was certainly impressive yesterday. But I've been talking to you for a couple months here about that Bills team. They are just their reputation has outsized who they actually are as a football team right here, right now.
The only team, Zach, that I get a little nervous about, and it would be in the playoffs, would be the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, because we knocked out their quarterback, C.J. Stroud. What does that look like if he plays the whole game? The defense is starting to come along for them, and they're aggressive, although they're starting to lose more key players. I was watching the game, and there was a key linebacker that got hurt. I don't know what's going to happen to him. But that's a team that you have to watch out for because they've been to the playoffs multiple times now. C.J. Stroud has been to the playoffs
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
They'll be going on year 3. Defense is strong. Offense is starting to get things together. That would be a team that makes me a little nervous in the playoffs if that happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, and Kansas City.
Kansas City's another one.
They're going to miss the playoffs.
You think so?
I do.
Oh.
I do. They needed to win that game on Thanksgiving.
They played tonight. No, they don't play tonight.
No, they played at Dallas on Thanksgiving.
They did.
And lost. And they were a favorite.
But see,
Dallas
is strong. They picked up a couple key pieces.
They did.
For free agency, got a little healthier.
They did.
They're strong.
Yeah, they did. And they got the Overshown dude back, who's an animal, and Quinnen Williams at the deadline. And when they play at home, they're going to miss the playoffs. I have no confidence that Kansas City is going to go on this run and be this different version of themselves that we haven't seen at all this year.
Yep.
So, if there was ever a year to intersect with a darling like the Broncos, who were not supposed to be or expected to be 10-2, it's literally this year. That's why, there's been this real huge issue for the rest of the AFC, who's had really good teams in Baltimore and Buffalo in particular, who have ran up against this dynasty. But there's no more dynasty here. And the teams that have been running up against them are no longer the same version of themselves. So it's on a team like Denver or even Jacksonville or maybe even the Chargers.
It's a wacky year. It's a wacky year.
It is.
The only thing that's standing in the Denver Broncos' way, and I know it's corny, it's themselves. If they start messing up, if the defense starts to crumble, if Bo Nix doesn't make the plays that he needs to make and he starts turning the ball over more, if the special teams kind of goes back to what it was at the beginning of the year, and Sean Payton doesn't call a good game offensively, then we're going to have issues. But as long as they're getting better, which the Denver Broncos seem to be getting better offensively and special teams-wise, defense is going to have to pick it up a little bit more. They struggle against the Commanders, but it's a one-off game. They have a chance to win it all, or they can hurt themselves and lose because of what they don't do.
Yeah, no, you don't sound corny to me. You don't sound corny to me at all. In fact, that they could be one of the biggest, roadblocks in their own way if they have one of these stinkers, especially offensively. I think, despite last night, I still think I more often than not know what I'm going to get from this defense.
Yes. Yeah.
The offense sometimes can be a bit trickier, but another win for the Broncos, another crazy game for the Broncos. And Sean Payton was asked about the craziness of that game.
It's the first time for me, I don't know how many years as a head coach, where I took the quarterback to helmet out, and then there's that flag on the field, and we.
And just real quick, to pause it, when he says that, he says, I'm taking the quarterback to helmet out. He's talking about his direct line of communication. Like you see these coaches as the clock's winding down in college or NFL, they take the headset off because the game's over and they hand it to the get back guy or whoever. He did that. Sean Payton did that yesterday, not knowing that the game was going to keep on going. And that dude's been coaching for a long time. He's never done that. Here's more Sean.
Didn't get the sack, then the interference was called. So that's never happened before. So, yeah, there was a lot of back and forth with that game. It's a great game to win. It's a tough one to lose. I just finished telling these guys, I can recall, like, the journey of a good team season involves games like this. And then you believe you can do it again. But I can remember that 09 season, having a game here. You guys can look it up. We were down a bunch of points and came back and won in overtime and almost like wanted to sprint in the locker room and shower so they couldn't make us come back. So give those guys credit. Washington, that's a team that's got playoff pedigree now. Dan's done a great job. They were in the postseason last year. They've had some injuries. They were a handful tonight.
And they were a handful.
Yeah.
And these games in that league, and yesterday is such a great example of it, as 7 different games were upsets yesterday. And teams that we have crowned, well, the Rams are the the Rams are the best. Yeah, we've been trying to figure it out. They're getting beat by Carolina.
Yeah, right at the end there.
It's crazy. This league is crazy. So each of these games take on a life of their own. So yeah, Washington, they hadn't won a game in about 2 months. They had been,
but there's context to it.
Of course.
For us, we know this because we're doing the research. We're watching these games. For the Commanders, it comes down to this: like, they've been injured. Their best quarterback, their best player, has not been available. Their best weapon, Terry McLaurin, has not been available. Deebo Samuel, another weapon, has not been available. Defensively, they've been banged up. And they're one of the oldest teams in the league, which I still don't understand why they didn't start cutting ties with some of these players and start to get a little younger. They decided to stay with the same team, thinking they can do it all, win it all again, and it came back and bit them in the butt. And now you have a team out there that's not as athletic, and you have in the defense is forced to play one coverage, which is zone, and Denver was able to eat it up. So there's context to the Commanders and why their season hasn't been as good as it should be. But also, you got to go out there and win, and Denver Broncos did that.
That's it. And that the overtime was crazy, and so often the Broncos have played on national TV, and the NFL community just starts hating the Broncos because of how frustrating. It's been like this for a few years, just how frustrating their offense can be. Yeah. And you have all these people from coast to coast like making fun. Well, forget the fans. The announcers twice this year have been making fun of the game that they're doing, which I have never heard of before. But
they were fed up with it.
They were.
I'm tired of this.
They had Kurt Warner tweeting in a commercial break, "I can't believe I'm doing a game that doesn't have a forward pass or hasn't some version of that."
I can't believe they have me here right now.
I mean, and it's been more than that instance. But last night it was cool because the Broncos were in a high leverage game in overtime that had a bunch of just crazy plays and wacky calls and bounces and all this stuff that everyone pretty much was like unanimously agreeing, like, that game was crazy. I'm glad I watched it. And that hasn't happened too often with these Broncos.
And for the players, for the fans, it's like, I'm glad I watched it. For the players, it's like, if you're on the winning side, I'm glad I won that game. Let's just get out of here. I'm not going to think twice about this game. Let's move on to the next because it is wacky. And things could have turned bad for the Denver Broncos if the flags didn't get in the way or if Mariota hits that running back at the end of the game. Like, who knows what happens?
How about the Benito bat down?
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. If he doesn't get his hand on that, I think the Commanders win.
Yes, they definitely win. It was a well-designed play. It was man coverage, getting that running back out there, leaking out to the end zone. And if Mariota just gets it up, then we're sitting here saying something different, upset and mad at the defense probably because they didn't get it done.
Yeah, but just wacky. I mean, the Broncos get the ball, they march right down the field, and what seemed like too good to be true. It's like, holy smokes, they just went. And then, the play to Evan Ingram. I mean, we got to see him open up with the ball in his hands for, I think, the first time this year. And he does a really nice job after he catches it of just getting right upfield.
Yeah, getting vertical.
But like that was, I saw that one other time here in Denver, and it was the preseason week number 2 against the Arizona Cardinals.
That's what you've been waiting for.
On the second play of that preseason game, he took it up the right sideline. Like, I haven't really seen that, but man, when he opens it up with some room to run, he is a thoroughbred. And that was, we've been waiting for this guy to really be on the scene.
He's that stallion there, baby.
He was, man.
He's a big body too.
He is.
And he has the speed of like getting vertical. He does have some speed to him. And I'm glad Bo Nix checked to that route, though. That was the thing right there. That was the deciding factor of a big-time play was Bo Nix recognizing the coverage and saying, hey, look, I'm giving you an opportunity to beat Bobby Wagner, do you think he'll go to the Hall of Fame?
I'd have to.
Damn good,
no,
14 seasons.
I'd have to check his resume.
Okay, he has a Super Bowl, I want to say 10 Pro Bowl appearances, 6 All-Pros, something along those lines.
If what you're saying is true, then yeah, he's got a great Hall of Fame piece.
And so like that man has a chance to go to the Hall of Fame, and you're putting him on an island because he's old, he can't cover anymore. Bo Nix did a great job of that, of giving his tight end, who's more athletic, an opportunity. Evan Ingram takes advantage of it. He doesn't drop it this time.
Yeah.
Takes advantage of it. 41 yards, sets up for a game-winning touchdown for RJ Harvey. Like, you have to love this stuff.
1,000% a Hall of Famer, by the way, Bobby. 1,000%. But he was also, talking about Ingram, he was massively instrumental at the end of the half 2-minute drill. Not 1, not 2, but 3 catches leading up to that Sutton touchdown. That doesn't happen without Evan Ingram. And so he had his best game. I feel like he personally needed it just about as much as anyone on the Broncos offense. That's a every Sunday player.
Confidence booster.
Yeah, big time. And a confidence booster maybe from a play calling standpoint or a quarterback standpoint in him. Because let's be honest, Evan Ingram hasn't been all peaches and cream here with him and catching the ball. And now,
even in the game, he dropped a couple where it's like, Evan, what are you doing? Like you got to catch it.
Well, there was one, yes. There was another when social media was all over him when he was on the right side and he was wide open and Bo kind of threw it at his feet and people wanted him to catch it at his shoelaces. Like,
yeah, Zach, maybe you're a little soft on that one.
He probably could have, but like, dude, there's so much field around Evan Ingram. Bo, just put it on his numbers.
Yeah, like, I understand. Like, Bo, put it on his numbers, but for Evan, it's like, dude, you got to catch it.
That's more on Bo than Ingram. That particular play was more on Bo than Ingram, in my opinion. But hey, what did you make of the run game?
I mean, Zach, is it safe to say they did enough? Because what I mean by that is they picked up a couple chunk plays that can keep a defense honest. They picked up the touchdowns in the goal line. Which
when you say chunk
most.
Plays, like define chunk play.
14 yards. There was a 14-yard run.
Typically, people
we're
describe explosive plays as 15 or 20.
Okay, so
there was a 14-yard run. There was, and it was a good run. It was a good run by Jaleel.
Was it Jaleel? I think it was RJ. RJ had the 9.
No.
RJ had the 9.
11. RJ's long was 11 on his first carry.
Yes, first carry. So it was the 11-yard run.
Jaleel had the 14-yard
run. Not good enough. Like, definitely, like, please don't mistake what I'm saying. It is not good enough. But they did enough in the goal line to score the touchdowns, and they did enough to keep the defense honest. Although Commanders went zone all day, they didn't have anything else. It was just like, hey, let's just play zone and call it a day. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose like that. But not good enough. Like, it has to get better. And what I will say is Sean did a great job of being more creative. There were pullers. There were opportunities out there that RJ and even Jaleel did not take advantage of. And maybe it's just about getting into a rhythm, but it's not good enough there. Are you happy I said it?
What
did you think of the run game?
I mean, it wasn't very good. Again, it's not close to good enough, which you just said, so I agree with you. It was good to see Bo a little bit of a willing runner a couple times there and gaining some extra yardage, particularly with the one when the whole second level was vacant. He just took 11 yards. That's free candy there. But in general, man, I mean, how many yards from running backs?
I mean, RJ had 35. You had Jaleel at 24.
35 plus 24 is 59 yards.
Yeah.
I believe that's exactly what they ran for as a group last week or in their last win against Kansas City. I think it was 59 yards.
Yep, it was.
So, yeah, I mean, Cecil told us a week or two ago that the average yards per game for a Super Bowl champion since the year 2001, I want to say, it's 114 yards a game. This is almost half of that, what we're seeing here recently.
It's definitely not good enough, especially when you have a team, like I just said, playing zone, and it's called two-gapping, guys, where the defensive front, they're not rushing to sack the quarterback. They're just sitting there. So as a running back, when you see something like that and you set it up the right way, you end up with explosive plays. If this was J.K. Dobbins, let's just keep it real. J.K. probably goes over 100 yards on a team like this.
I agree with you.
A Commanders team that is struggling. Total defense, I think they're 31st.
Yep.
They have struggled to tackle, And so for RJ Harvey, who he ran hard. I will give him that. He did run hard.
But that is for me like one of the lower forms of complimenting a running back when you don't have much else to point to. You're like, I'll give him this. Man, on Sunday Night Football, he ran hard. It's
what I wanted
at a
to
certain
see,
point, we need to see the production, particularly from him.
I agree.
They're talking about this for months. He's not a down starting running back.
Sean can help him out by having consecutive runs. Give him more runs, like at the same, like 1, 2. If it's 31, run it again. Like give him the chance to get into a rhythm. Then we can sit here and say, hey,
Man,
he's
Phil.
just not it.
But he's.
I mean, there's times they'll
week,
run the
though.
ball and they'll break for the 9 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, the 9 yards.
All right. Usually when we say break,
Right.
it's like you're running for a legitimate
what is a
distance.
9-yard run? Is it
That's a really nice run.
All right,
honestly.
So you run for a nice 9-yard run.
Yeah.
Then you would go give him the ball again. But there's a lot of times where Sean's like, okay, I'm going to put it in Bo's hands because Sean likes to pass the ball. Let this young man get into a rhythm. I'm not saying he's going to be this greatest running back ever. But I'm saying is let's see what he can do. And then if he gets the consecutive carries, or let's just say 15, 16 carries like JK would get, and it's not happening, then we can move on. But who else are we moving on to?
Jaleel.
Were you kind of scratching your head?
Dude.
Because Jaleel didn't get the ball until, the second half?
Correct. But Jaleel is not God's gift to the running back position. But he might be the best thing that the Broncos have in that room right now.
I can't believe you're saying Jaleel's name because last year you were like, get Jaleel out of here. Now you're saying bring Jaleel back.
I never said get Jaleel out of here. That's like a big statement. I've never said that about Jaleel. But like I've said, hey, I've been critical of saying, hey, like if you're a speed guy, like we need to see the speed on display at some point, which we didn't the entire year. So yes, I was critical while you gave him a pass. So
and now you're calling, please Jaleel, come back.
No, I'm not saying please come back. I'm saying, hey, like this guy hits the line of scrimmage with at least some fervor and some juice. RJ Harvey just doesn't. And maybe he will, maybe he won't. But right now, he's not.
Hey, man, my man had 2 touchdowns.
He did, but yeah, there's context to that. Like he's not even touched.
2 touchdowns.
I know, but the context, the touchdown production, if you're not watching the games, is like loud. But when you watch RJ Harvey run on a down-to-down basis, man, there's just not a lot of juice there.
I agree. You have to feel. Right? You want to be able to feel your running back or a receiver, be explosive. RJ Harvey, you're not feeling him right now. And yes, he did get the 1-yard touchdowns. Now, for a running back that's sitting behind him, you're a little upset. If you're Jaleel, you're saying, hey, I could have done that.
Sure.
And honestly, that can help you get a contract. I mean, Melly Mel was notorious for going in there and getting those 1-yard touchdowns where you're sitting there saying, well, damn, give me an opportunity to do my dance.
And Sean always gives him the RJ Harvey.
Oh, Sean is going to definitely give him the RJ Harvey.
And that's when Dobbins was the 5th leading running back in the league.
And
he was
that
getting
is true.
pulled out, and Harvey would go in and get the glory.
Because that's Sean's
That's his guy. That's his guy.
You draft somebody in the second round, you're trying to show everybody that this is the reason why we drafted him. RJ Harvey is getting the touchdowns, which is pretty amazing. I want to say, four touchdowns on the ground, 4 receiving.
Yeah.
So he's getting the touchdowns. Now he needs to start putting the yards out on that football field so that he can be this running back that everybody wants to see out of RJ Harvey.
Yeah, he's got an explosive rush rate defined by 10 yards or more of 4%. So 3rd lowest mark